Imagine you found a machine that could slowly turn small amounts of money into a fortune. You put in $100 today. You leave it alone. Years later, that small amount has transformed into thousands of dollars. It sounds like a fantasy, but this is exactly what some of the world's wealthiest investors have understood for generations. The secret is not having a huge salary. It is not about being born into a wealthy family. And it is not predicting the next big company before everyone else. The real secret is something much simpler. Time. The ability for your money to make money. This idea is called compound growth, and it is one of the most powerful forces in investing. But here's the problem. Most people never experience it. Not because investing is impossible, not because they cannot afford it, but because they believe investing is only for wealthy people, financial experts, or people wearing expensive suits on Wall Street. For decades, investing has been surrounded by mystery. People imagine crowded trading floors, complicated charts, and professionals shouting buy and sell orders. But modern investing is very different. Today, an ordinary person with a smartphone and a small amount of money can become a partial owner of some of the world's biggest companies. A person investing $100 today can own pieces of businesses that employ thousands of people, create technology used by millions, and generate billions in revenue. The journey from your first $100 to thousands of dollars does not happen overnight. It requires patience, discipline, and understanding. But history has repeatedly shown that small investors who stay consistent can build remarkable wealth. So today, we are going to explore how investing works, why time is your greatest advantage, the history behind modern investing, and how beginners can start building their own financial future. Because your first investment is not just about money. It is about changing the way you think about money. Welcome to Capital Academy. In this video, we explore and take you through the powerful principles behind building wealth, growing your money, and creating long-term financial freedom. We explain how compound interest works, why time is one of the greatest advantages an investor has, and how small investments can grow into meaningful wealth through patience and consistency. If you are someone willing to build wealth, growing your money, and create long-term financial freedom, the best time to start is now. And if this helps you out, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up to get more videos about investing, personal finance, wealth building, and creating your financial freedom. For most of human history, people survived by earning money through their labor. You worked, you received payment, you spent that payment, and then you repeated the process. This was the traditional relationship humans had with money. But investing introduced a completely different idea. Instead of only working for money, you could make your money work for you. This concept changed the way people built wealth. The idea of investing is actually thousands of years old. Ancient civilizations invested in land, businesses, and trade routes. Merchants in places like ancient Rome and Greece provided money to fund ships traveling across oceans, hoping to receive profits when those ships returned with valuable goods. They understood something important. Money could be used as a tool to create more money. However, investing as we understand it today developed much later. One major turning point happened during the rise of stock markets. In the early 1600s, the Dutch East India Company became one of the first companies where ordinary people could buy shares. Instead of only wealthy merchants owning businesses, regular investors could purchase a small piece of a company. This created a revolutionary idea. Ownership could be divided. A person did not need to build an entire company themselves. They could simply become a small owner. Over time, stock markets expanded around the world. Companies raised money from investors. Investors gained opportunities to participate in economic growth. And ordinary people began to discover that investing could be a path to financial independence. But even with these opportunities, many people still avoided investing. Why? Because investing feels risky. And this fear has existed for centuries. When markets fall, people panic. When prices drop, many investors sell. But history has shown that markets have always experienced ups and downs. The investors who built lasting wealth were often the ones who understood patience. One of the most famous examples is Warren Buffett. Buffett started investing when he was a child. He purchased his first stock at just 11 years old. Over many decades, he became one of the wealthiest investors in history. But his approach was surprisingly simple. He focused on buying quality businesses and holding them for a long time. His success was not built on constant buying and selling. It was built on patience. This teaches beginners one of the most important lessons in investing. You do not need to be the smartest person in the room. You need a strategy you can follow consistently. So how can $100 actually become thousands? The answer starts with one simple concept: compound growth. Compound growth means your investment earns returns, and then those returns begin earning returns themselves. Think of it like planting a tree. At first, the tree is small. You water it. You protect it. You wait. Then slowly, it grows branches. Those branches create more branches. Eventually, something that started small becomes much larger than you imagined. Money works similarly. Let's say you invest $100. If your investment grows by an average of 8% per year, after 1 year, your $100 becomes about $108. That extra $8 might not seem impressive. But the next year, you are not earning growth only on your original $100. You are earning growth on $108. Over decades, this process becomes extremely powerful. For example, investing $100 every month and allowing it to grow over many years can potentially create a significant portfolio. The biggest advantage you have as a beginner investor is not the amount of money you start with. It is the amount of time you give your money. This is why young investors often have a powerful advantage. Someone who starts investing at 20 has decades for their money to grow. Someone who starts at 50 has less time. The earlier you start, the more opportunity your money has to compound. This idea was famously described by scientist Albert Einstein, who is often credited with calling compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. While the exact origin of that quote is debated, the message remains powerful. Small amounts, when given enough time, can become surprisingly large. Now that we understand the power of compound growth, the next question is, where do beginners actually put their money? Because investing is not just about saving money. Saving and investing are two different things. Saving means storing money somewhere safe for future use. Investing means putting money into assets that have the potential to increase in value over time. A savings account protects your money. Investments aim to grow your money. Both have an important role, but they serve different purposes. Throughout history, people have invested in different types of assets. They invested in land. They invested in businesses. They invested in precious metals. They invested in bonds. And eventually, they invested in stocks. Today, beginners have access to many investment options. Let's look at some of the most common ones. Stocks, owning pieces of businesses. When people hear the word investing, stocks are usually the first thing they think about. A stock represents ownership in a company. When you buy a share of a company, you become a small owner. You are no longer just a customer. You are participating in the success of that business. If the company grows, your investment may grow with it. Some companies that started as small businesses eventually became global giants. For example, early investors in companies like Apple Inc. or Microsoft saw enormous growth because they owned pieces of businesses that expanded dramatically over time. However, stocks also come with risk. Companies can fail. Markets can decline. Prices can move up and down every day. This is why successful investors focus on long-term thinking rather than trying to predict every short-term movement. Index funds, the beginner-friendly approach. One of the most popular approaches for beginner investors is investing in index funds. Instead of trying to choose individual companies, an index fund allows investors to own a collection of many companies at once. Imagine trying to pick the best athlete in the world. That is difficult, but instead, imagine owning a small piece of an entire sports league. You benefit from the overall performance. Index investing follows a similar idea. Rather, this approach became popular through the growth of passive investing. One major influence in this area was John C. Bogle, who promoted low-cost index funds as a simple way for everyday investors to participate in market growth. His philosophy was based on a simple idea. You do not need to beat the market. You can simply participate in it. This changed personal finance culture because investing became more accessible to ordinary people. Real estate, the traditional wealth builder. Long before modern stock markets existed, people built wealth through real estate. Owning land has historically been considered one of the oldest forms of investing. A person could buy property, rent it out, and potentially benefit from increasing property values. Real estate has played a major role in personal finance culture for generations. Many families around the world viewed owning a home as one of the biggest financial achievements. A house represented security, a place to live, and an asset that could potentially increase in value. However, real estate also requires understanding. Properties require maintenance. Markets change. Interest rates affect borrowing costs. And unlike buying a stock, real estate usually requires a larger amount of money up front. To understand why many people struggle with investing today, we need to understand the history of personal finance. For much of modern history, financial education was not widely taught. Schools prepared people for careers. They taught mathematics, science, literature, and other important subjects. But many people graduated without understanding how taxes work, how investing works, how debt affects wealth, how retirement planning works. As a result, many people learned about money through experience. Some learned from their families. Some learned through mistakes. Others never learned important financial concepts at all. This created a major difference between people who understood money and people who did not. Financial knowledge became a form of advantage. In the early 1900s, many workers depended heavily on employers and pensions for retirement. The idea of building your own investment portfolio was less common among average workers. But over time, retirement culture changed. People began taking more responsibility for their own financial futures. The rise of retirement accounts, mutual funds, and online investing platforms changed the relationship between ordinary people and investing. Today, someone sitting at home with a smartphone can access financial markets that were once only available to professional investors. This is one of the biggest financial changes in history. Here are some surprising facts about investing. Fact number 1. The stock market has survived wars, economic crises, recessions, and political changes. Throughout history, markets have experienced major crashes. The Great Depression in the 1930s, the financial crisis of 2008, the market crash during the COVID-19 pandemic. Each event created fear and uncertainty. But historically, markets recovered and continued growing over long periods. This does not mean every investment succeeds. It means patience has historically been one of the most valuable qualities an investor can have. Fact number 2. Missing the best days in the market can dramatically affect your results. Many investors panic during market declines and sell their investments. But some of the biggest market gains often happen shortly after major declines. This is why emotional discipline is so important. Investing is not only a financial challenge, it is a psychological challenge. Your emotions can become your biggest obstacle. Fact number 3. The average investor often struggles because of behavior, not because of a lack of information. Many people know they should invest. They know saving is important. They know debt can be dangerous. But knowing something and consistently doing something are completely different. Building wealth requires habits. Small actions repeated over many years often create bigger results than occasional dramatic decisions. Common beginner investing mistakes many beginners are making. The first mistake many beginners make is waiting for the perfect time. They think, I will start when I earn more money. I will start when the economy improves. I will start when I understand everything. But the truth is, nobody begins as an expert. Every successful investor was once a beginner. The second mistake is trying to get rich quickly. The internet is full of stories about people making huge amounts of money overnight. But sustainable wealth usually comes from consistency. The third mistake is investing money without understanding what they own. Investing is not gambling. A good investor understands the asset they are buying. They understand why they own it. And they understand their long-term goal. The fourth mistake is ignoring debt. Before building wealth, people often need to understand their financial foundation. High-interest debt can work against you. Credit card balances, expensive loans, and poor spending habits can slow down your progress. Personal finance is not only about making more money. It is also about managing the money you already have. Why your first $100 matters. Many people underestimate the importance of their first investment. They look at $100 and think, this is too small to make a difference. But the first $100 is not really about the amount of money. It represents something much bigger. It represents a change in identity. The person who saves and invests their first $100 is no longer only a consumer. They have become an owner. They have started participating in the financial system. They have moved from only earning money to learning how money works. This psychological shift is one of the most important steps in building wealth. Because wealth is not only created through numbers, it is created through behavior. Two people can earn the same income and have completely different financial futures. One person spends everything they earn. The other person saves, invests, and allows their money to grow. The difference is not always income. The difference is often habits. Let me share with you about the psychology of wealth building. Money decisions are deeply connected to human behavior. Investing requires patience, but humans are naturally attracted to immediate rewards. We want results quickly. We want progress immediately. This is why many people struggle with long-term investing. The reward is delayed. You do not usually see dramatic changes after 1 week. You may not see dramatic changes after 1 month. Sometimes you may not even see dramatic changes after 1 year. But behind the scenes, your habits are building something powerful. A person who invests consistently for 20 or 30 years is using time as an advantage. This is very different from trying to predict the next popular investment. Throughout investing history, many people became wealthy not because they made one perfect decision. They became wealthy because they made thousands of small, disciplined decisions. They avoided unnecessary mistakes. They stayed invested. They allowed time to do the heavy lifting. The culture around investing has changed dramatically. For many years, investing was viewed as something only wealthy people did. Wall Street professionals controlled much of the information. Financial markets seemed distant from everyday life. But technology changed everything. The internet gave people access to financial education. Mobile investing apps have made buying investments easier. Social media introduced millions of people to concepts like compound growth, financial independence, passive income, retirement planning, building assets. A new generation began discussing money openly. People started sharing their financial journeys. They talked about paying off debt. They talked about increasing income. They talked about creating investment portfolios. This created a new personal finance culture focused on financial awareness. However, easier access also created new challenges. Some people became attracted to risky trends. Others chased unrealistic promises of overnight wealth. This is why financial education is more important than ever. Access to investing is powerful, but knowledge determines how wisely people use that access. The future of investing will likely continue to become more accessible. Artificial intelligence, technology, and financial platforms are changing how people analyze information and manage money. But despite all the technological changes, the fundamental principles remain the same. Spend less than you earn. Avoid unnecessary debt. Invest consistently. Diversify your assets. Think long-term. These ideas have survived generations because they are based on human behavior, not temporary trends. The tools may change. The apps may change. The companies may change. But the principles of building wealth remain remarkably consistent. So why should someone care about investing? Because investing gives people options. Money is not only about buying things. Money represents choices. The choice to leave a job you dislike. The choice to handle emergencies without panic. The choice to support your family. The choice to create opportunities. Financial freedom does not necessarily mean becoming a billionaire. For many people, financial freedom means having control over their time and decisions. Investing is one tool that can help create that freedom, but it works best when combined with responsible financial habits. Investing cannot fix poor money management. Someone who constantly spends more than they earn will struggle to build wealth. The foundation comes first. Understanding your income, controlling expenses, managing debt, creating savings. Then investing becomes a powerful next step. The power of starting small. One of the biggest myths about investing is that you need a lot of money to begin. But history shows that many successful investors started small. The important thing is not the size of your first investment. The important thing is to start. A single dollar invested today is a dollar that has the opportunity to grow. A habit started today can continue for decades. The person who invests $100 today may not look wealthy tomorrow, but they are building something most people never start. They are building a relationship with money based on ownership rather than consumption. They are learning patience. They are learning discipline. They are planting a financial seed. And with enough time, that seed can grow into something much larger. The journey from your first $100 to thousands of dollars is not about finding a secret investment. It is not about becoming a financial genius. It is not about predicting exactly what will happen next in the market. It is about understanding simple principles and applying them consistently. History has shown that ordinary people can build extraordinary wealth when they give their money time to grow. The greatest advantage a beginner investor has is not a large bank account. It is time. Every wealthy investor started somewhere. Every experienced investor made their first investment. Every financial journey began with a single decision. The decision to start. Your first $100 may not change your life immediately, but the knowledge, habits, and discipline you build from investing that $100 can change the direction of your entire financial future. Because wealth is rarely created by one huge moment. It is usually created by small actions repeated over a long period of time. If you learn something new today, remember that investing is a skill that improves with knowledge and practice. Start by learning. Start by understanding your money. Start by building good financial habits. And most importantly, start when you are ready. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more videos about investing, personal finance, wealth building, and creating financial freedom. Leave a comment below and share. What was your first investment? Or what is one financial goal you are working toward? Remember, the best time to start learning about money was yesterday. The next best time is today.